I have the weirdest rig right now, y'all. I have the weirdest freaking rig right now, okay? Is unknown ecology. Yeah. It's a question I ask myself every day. So, we're just gonna kind of go through this and... Shit. Let's see. Fuck. And pray. And prage. But yeah, I grabbed this, I bought this like less than a week ago. I guess Mercari US will now just ship stuff to the United States. So you don't have to go through like Bai or any of that stuff. So I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. And then I got it today, and I was like, damn. I did take a quick little peek. It kind of goes over a lot of the, it's the PlayStation stuff. So we'll go through it a bit. Let's see what I got. World's Rare Animals Photo Guide. Yeah. So I'm using Google Translate. This translation should not be taken legitimately. Oh god, oh my god. Information that interests this generation of Seaman. Oh yeah, it's gonna be separated into life cycles. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the PlayStation version goes into Iguani, which is a different phase. He's big. Okay. Illustrated book edition. PlayStation 2 breeding kit does not allow breeding of first generation mushroomers. This is true. You don't get the mushroomers. So, first thing a breeder sees is the second generation Seaman, which looks very similar to a fish. Yes. This is true. Yay! Oh god, oh my god. Oh god, come on. High like a child. Jawline begins to take a clear shape. Interesting. First generation of Seamen are plankton-like organisms called mushroomers. They parasitize tuna and whales that migrate in the deep ocean and metamorphosize to second generation in their intestines. Okay. When the parasitized organism reaches coastal waters near the mouth of a river, it tears through the host's body and jumps out into the water. This is the baby gillman. The baby gillman's abdomen stores nutrients obtained from the parasitic organism. This is called a nutritional pouch. By consuming the nutrients in the pouch, it can survive for several days without preying on food. Good to know. So yeah, we don't have to feed them the pellets. Baby gillman's growth is remarkable, and within a few days, scales and fins appear on its body. The surface of its body then changes from colorless and transparent to yellowish brown. Good to know. The nutritional bag disappears, and the abdominal swelling disappears. The dorsal fin has also begun to grow, indicating rapid growth. Not only the dorsal fin, but also the anal fin grows. Okay. Size when held in the hand. When holding a small baby gillman, it is small enough that you can pinch its tail fin with your fingertips and fit snugly in your fist. Even when it grows a little, you can still pinch its tail fin and lift it up. Habitat range. Oh shit. Okay, so these guys are mostly at the mouth of a river. Interesting. All very real, you know. Okay. I think it goofed. Hold up. There we go. Hold up. Come on, buddy. There we go. That's better. Oh shit! Wait, it's giving me days? Wait, that's good info. Time to reach this form 3 to 4 days after birth. That's good knowledge, actually. Like, that checks out, I think. For the most part, yeah? Does that sound right to what our typical run is? Now, of course, I can't vouch for the PlayStation version being one-to-one with the Dreamcast version, or vice versa, I guess. Once the nutritional pouch on the baby gillman's abdomen disappears, it's called a gillman. As the body grows, the scales covering the surface of the body also become finer, forming a mottled pattern of yellowish, brown, and green. Another characteristic is that the pectoral fins develop as the pelvic fins grow, and the base of the fins change to a foot-like shape. This foot-like part grows remarkably over the course of a few days. Meanwhile, as the days go by, legs gradually grow from near the anal fin. At first, there's a small fin-like protrusions. In about 3 to 4 days, these two grow to form joints. From childlike voice to a lower voice. Near pectoral fins. Probably. I can't read kanji. I can read some kana. Most kana. Base of the pectoral fin develops a foot part is formed. Yeah. Like the baby gillman, it lives in the ocean near the mouth of the river. Some individuals try to swim upstream like salmon and can adapt to fresh water. When raising in an aquarium, there's no need to use salty water. Yeah, this is translate. But, alright. This is gonna be the meat and potatoes. Baby gillman's behavior. Family what the fuck? Why is it upside down? Okay. Yeah, so a lot of this isn't going to apply much to us because in the PlayStation version of Seaman, the majority of it takes place in the ocean. So, alright, let's see. Action under the sea. In the ocean, you can see wild baby gillmans twisting their bodies to escape. If a human tries to touch them, they skillfully bend their bodies and swim away from the hand. However, unlike other fish, they do not just run away, but return to their original place. After a wild conversation getting used to the human, the above-mentioned behavior will eventually disappear. Okay, so we'll just have to talk to them. Various swimming techniques using fins. After a while in the tank, the belly bulge disappears completely. In other words, it takes on the form known as a gillman. With the dorsal fin and other fins, it can perform more extreme movements in the water than when it was a baby gillman. For example, it can rotate its body 180 degrees and swim on its back or talk while turning only its face towards you. Both of these movements require a sense of balance, so the presence of each fin plays a major role. After 8 to 9 days of breeding, small leg-like things start to form or grow near the anal fin. At this time, you can see flapping its feet with small, undeveloped legs. When it transforms into gillman form, it uses the chamorro tubes to vary its movements. I don't know if that's actually... Hold on. Nope, it's called chamorro. 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 When it transforms into gillman form, it uses to vary its movements. This is a move that's not made by baby gillman. In particular, the action of hanging the chamorro pipe in front of the face and scratching its nose is also from this time on activity. They react to certain words and begin to excrete. They may also throw excrement at their owners. It rotates its body sideways and swims with the abdomen facing up. It paddles its pectoral fins. Swim backwards, first dives into the tank. Roll your eyes with baby gillman facing you. Oh yeah, and this is how you can do the hypnosis. Yeah. Oh yeah, so also in the PlayStation version, you have an entire separate section. you have just an entire forest to eat food from. It's very good. Let's see. St. Onward's only body in the larvae. Oh, now we're at... Oh, this one has a different name. They call it higyo in Japanese, but we call this one the podfish. 6 to 11 days after birth, monthly period, 5 days habitat, freshwater marine, joints appear in the hind legs, yes. Higyo! Oh yeah, the tube does look better. It does look a lot more smooth, it looks a little bit more mature, less jank. Very nice, right there, yes. And then what else we got? There's little leggies. The distinguished feature between a lungfish and a gillman is the legs that grow out from the sides of the body. A lungfish is called a lungfish when 4 complete legs and joints in the hind leg. When it has 4 complete fin grow in the legs. This is similar to how a tadpole grows legs and transforms into a frog. Although there's no change in appearance, the chamorro duct also matures at this time. The main characteristic is it begins to function as a reproductive organ. Oh dang, he's big. Yeah, wow. Codfish is kind of big. Interesting. They attempt to swim upwards. Okay, interesting. Oh, here she is. See the lungfish section. Seamen are generally Oh. Are we allowed to say that? Is that still a scientific term? Also, please remember, this is translate. Although some do have a female appearance, the female seaman's body is covered with golden scales, making her very conspicuous in the ocean. However, her most distinctive features is her facial features. Her plump cheeks, rosy lips, arched eyebrows, and seductive double eyelids. Oh, those double eyelids. Oh, shit. Well, hold up. I can just switch over right now. I'm here! Alright. It's time to read. Anyway. A female seaman hot. This is what we learned. Clear double eyelids. They yassified Seaman! Oh god, okay. So yeah, our podfish, let's see. Changes in swimming due to development of hind legs. As the forelegs grow, the water flow also changes. First, take a closer look at the treading action. Especially on the forehead, the body is raised upwards by the force of the feet pushing the water and directed towards the end. Then, as if lightly twisting the body, the water flows towards the fins. In addition, instead of using its tail fin in the past, it now swims in a steady pattern, moving its legs up and down to gain momentum. In addition to this new way of swimming, it also uses nostromous leg movement seen in the Gillman form, making it even more powerful. Ooh. Four-legged exercise. The above video, shows the movement of the four legs as legs, but the legs can also be literally used. What the fuck is that sentence? Remember, don't take these translations, like, for granted. This is Google Translate. Don't. It's gonna have inconsistencies until I can get this to someone who actually could localize this. I need this sentence tattooed on my face. The above video shows the movement of the four legs as legs, but the legs can also be literally used as legs. However, after a few days of taking on the lungfish form, you should be able to see the toes and pushes the water outstretched jump just like a human pushing something. To walk like seals. Oh god, oh my god. Oh yeah, here's our video. Playing with Waka. Waka. Unlike fish, bouncing book, okay. Oh, Seaman can get stuck in the ground in this one? Oh, I love that. They can push the rock, yeah. State you can see when you catch a lungfish is top. Drop it to the bottom. Oh! Interesting. We'll get there. We'll get there one of these days. I'll learn enough Japanese. Just for you. I'll get Jozu. Just for you. We'll be Jozu. Alright. Oh! This is good lore. Okay, hold up. First generation mushroomer. First generation of seamen are creatures similar to Brunkton called mushrooms. Mushrooms hatch from eggs and parasitize the bodies of tuna, mackerel, whales, and other fish that migrate through the open ocean, absorbing their nutrients and growing. When the host parasite eventually migrates across the ocean and arrives at the coastal waters near the mouth of a river, mushrooms transform into second generation juvenile fish or baby gillman, and then they bite through the host body and jump out. Yes, we have witnessed this many times. The gillmans that emerge from the host body are often spotted in the sea near river mouths. The long tube that swings from its head is distinctive appearance. And it's the tube that the mushrooms use to suck on its host's bodily fluids, breathe, and move underwater. This tube's called the Chamorro tube. Reproduction, spawning, excretion, and blood sucking. Yum. There have also been reports of baby gillman using the Chamorro tube to suck blood from other members of the same species. Whoa. Wait, what button is my hat button? Hold up. Oh, here we go. Wait. Maybe. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Alright, cool. Yeah, we're good. We're cooking now. Alright. Okay. So... really bad abdomen is equipped with nutrients. If they absorb these nutrients, can survive without eating much. Therefore, you do not need they do not actively eat food. Yes. Alright. Well, I'm glad to know that despite not having this this field guide on Seaman, that we've been pretty good about our own research. We're very good scientists. I'm very proud of us. GG's. GG's. You're all very smart. I'm proud of you. Yeah. Okay. We got some nice illustrations here. If you throw food into the sea, you can see baby gillmans coming. Although they can survive on food alone, they prey on the larvae of Symos species. Symos? Anyway, let's read about baby gillman's language. Damn. First generation parasitizes other organisms, approaches river mouths. Gillman and lungfish try to swim upstream to get closer to settlements in order to gain more knowledge. However, baby gillman, who have just completed their metamorphosis from first generation, are not able to speak human language from the beginning. Perhaps due to instinct, they respond to what you say, but they only respond in an unknown language that you cannot understand. However, if you speak to them repeatedly, they will learn your language within a day or two. They will be able to have simple conversations. It is said they are able to respond with simple greetings, even at 1 day old. Baby. Yeah. From saltwater to freshwater, newborn baby gillmans do not like contact with humans. If they are somewhat accustomed to humans, you can pick them up with your hands, but if they are not, you cannot even touch their body surface. There's a stage where they are allowed to touch, but cannot be picked up. They basically want to communicate, but are in a state similar to what humans would call shyness. As they listen to human language, they gradually get used to it. They also have an optimum water temperature for living in, as shown in the table on the right. The optimum temperature for them is between 15 and 20 degrees centigrade. Temperatures higher or lower than this seem to have an adverse effect on the growth of baby gillmen. Alright. Oh! Oh, this is a nice little table. Plains to owner. Life crisis. The water temperature suitable for the second generation of baby gillmans to lungfish. They are active between 15 and 20 degrees centigrade, but will complain if the water temperature rises or falls. Like other fish, they dislike sudden changes in water temperature. The abdominal nutritional pouch becomes smaller. The nutritional pouch of the abdomen shrinks rapidly within 2 or 3 days after birth. Scales and fins form on the surface of the body, and the body eventually takes on a shape similar to that of a cart. My iPad is going to die, pad. How to use the tube! When they become gillmen, not only their appearance, but also their internal structure begins to change. A good example of this is shown in the way they use their Chamorro tube. Baby gillmens absorb nutrients from their nutritional pouch and do not excrete. However, when they grow into gillmens, they start to hunt for food and excrete yellowish-brown matter from their Chamorro tube. Moreover, they tend to try and throw their waste far away, perhaps to avoid taking in waste products into their body. The distance they can throw sometimes can be up to twice their body length. They appear to be able to shoot waste continuously. What? They're just a continuous shitting machine? Damn, me too, after Taco Bell. The Chamorro tube can also be used dexterously like a hand. When the child feels pain or an itch on the skin, the child can use the Chamorro tube to respond. For example, the child can hold the tube in front of their face and scratch the nose. As the child grows, the Chamorro tube can be used in a variety of ways. Interesting. Same, yeah. Growth from gillman to lungfish. The legs begin to grow. Day by day, the legs will become longer and longer and eventually grow into a baby. What? If you look closely at the pectoral fins of a gillman, you will notice the base is more developed than that of an ordinary fish. Fuck. I lost my spot. Oh. This is what will eventually become the front legs. Also, after a few days of developing into a gillman, foot-like protrusions will appear in the sides of the body. These will grow into the hind legs and eventually become thicker and longer enough to form joints. These hind legs are developed to help the gillman swim upstream in fast-flowing rivers. The gillman with legs uses the strength of these legs to overcome rapids and rocky areas. It has been reported that wild gillmen feeding on, or living, in the wild change the speed at which their legs develop depending on the speed of the river flow during the process of developing from a gillman to a lungfish. The development of intelligence is remarkable. The most distinctive feature is the emergence of a sense of self. They want to name to distinguish themselves from the other individuals. Okay, so the desire for a name is actually specified. So this makes me think that the naming convention does play a part in the happiness level of Seaman. If that is written as a desire, like, does that not make more sense? I want to be me. I gotta be me. Yeah. His vocabulary has increased dramatically. He's now able to bring up a variety of topics in a normal conversation. Yeah. Nice, nice. Seaman got that chosen name. Ecology of lungfish. Actions using developed limbs. When the limbs begin to grow and develop and the reproductive organs become mature, the fish becomes an adult and is called a lungfish. At this stage, they use their limbs to swim in unusual ways, such as flapping or treading water, and they can even walk around on land. The name lungfish is said to come from the way they walk, as if they are crawling on land. There was once a theory that the name came from fish with lungs, but the former theory is now considered more likely. Okay, interesting. During this period, they begin to adapt to life on land, and primitive lungs form inside their bodies. They have been seen surfacing while swimming underwater. Because their lungs are not yet fully functional, they cannot stay active on land for long periods of time, but they can travel distances about 300 meters to 2,000 meters. They can often be seen crawling while shaking their bellies on the ground. Yeah. Preparing for the next generation. The limbs of the lungfish are originally generated to enable them to swim upstream, mate, and spawn. In other words, by the time they become lungfish, they are already in a state where they can move to the next state, or the next generation. In fact, after a few days of becoming lungfish, the seaman in the tank begins to express a strong desire to find a mate. If the fish were in an environment where they could move, they would search upstream in the river to find a mate, but wild seamen that have grown up in a closed environment like an aquarium must mate in the ocean. That's good to know, because yeah, you won't get like a school. What? We have an ecology book here, and it's not even telling me what a group of seamen are called. What, like, do they have are they a pod? Are they, school? What's a group of eels called? A platoon. Oh, hey Siri. What's a group of eels called? A swarm. Thank you. Okay. A swarm of seaman. I kind of like that. I mean, that's eels, yeah. Swarm of seaman. Oh, yeah. Hey, no, this is actually good. Oh. Hold on, I need this to reset itself. When the reproductive organs of lungfish mature, they eventually reach mating time. At this time, they begin to look for mates in the sea or rivers to reproduce the next generation. When seamen kept by humans reach mating time, they also appeal to their owners to find them. What? Oh, mates. They mate in the water. Seamans are generally, meaning that they are both male and female functions and can switch between male and female roles depending on the situation. However, there are rare cases of female lungfish. Male and female lungfish can mate, but this does not necessarily mean that the female seaman will take on the female role. Yo! Yo! Woo! Let's go! Okay. Hot. I think. Let's go! It's not uncommon for male lungfish to spawn. What? Okay. Damn. Right? Right? Every day I'm learning new things about this game and I love it. This has been a wild ride and I'm here for it. Mating using the Chimoto tube. Lungfish mate underwater. When two lungfish stand on top of each other and align the openings of Chimoto tubes, mating begins. Usually the lungfish on top acts as the male, while the one on the bottom acts as the female and lays eggs. Bottoms prosper. Bottoms prosper. When mating, the top lungfish sends genes through the Chimoto tube. If you observe the Chimoto tube closely, you'll be able to clearly see genes being sent through the tube. Gross.
Bienvenue, power bottoms.
Gross. Mating usually lasts only a few minutes, after which the two lungfish appear to depart in separate directions. Some of them apparently doing so to remind us of the transience of life. Two lungfish overlap on top of the other and along openings of their Chimoto mouth tubes. Blech. This is how lungfish mate. The upper lungfish transfers genes. The lower lungfish begins preparations for spawning. The insemination process. Gross. River and back to sea again. Seamen usually migrate from the ocean to river mouths and onto land, meeting near the upper reaches of rivers. But this is not the case with captive seamen. Once they become lungfish, they return to the ocean, and some have been seen mating in the sea. Do they use tongue? Do they even have tongues? Anyway. A mated lungfish. After mating, the lungfish behave in one of two ways. The first, which plays a role of the male, dies in the water shortly after. Well, never mind. Backtrack. However, seamen who are highly intelligent have a human-like habit of not letting others see the moment they die. Oh. For this reason, the moment a wild lungfish dies in the wild is rarely witnessed. Interesting. Maybe they were like, oh, it's too sad. Meanwhile, the lungfish, having completed the role of female, begins preparations for spawning. Again, what stands out here is the lungfish's unique behavior of using its developed limbs. Preparatory behavior for spawning. Yay! After mating, the lungfish muster their last bit of strength to come ashore, then they begin preparations for spawning. Although they have mainly lived in water up until now, they spawn on land. They move in search for places with no currents and few predators, such as freshwater ponds and lakes. Lungfish that live in places with no land nearby may push rocks with their developed limbs in search for a more suitable place to come ashore. Landing and the start of spawning. Once the lungfish have found a spawning site, they come ashore and begin laying eggs. Usually eggs are laid in places that are less likely to be targeted by predators, such as at the base of plants or on top of leaves, but if there are no such places nearby, they may lay the eggs directly in water. Lungfish spawning can take as little as 10 minutes or as long as several hours. This is true. So, running the PlayStation version of the game will likely be rough. Very rough. Because literally, it could take the 8 minutes that we're used to, or it could take, like, literally 10 hours. Just like real life. Which Seaman is, in real life. We're reading his book. It's an ecology book on Seaman. I can't wait. Imagine, like, I become a doctor, and I have this just on my table or something, and someone thinks that this is, like, a legitimate... People think that this is, like, a legitimate, like, research book. Like, what is this? What is this? That's Seaman. You've never heard of Seaman? You mean you've never seen a Seaman? You never gone to the zoo and saw a Seaman? Another characteristic is that when laying eggs, she uses abdominal breathing similar to the Lamaze method. What? The Lamaze method was originally a popular method of childbirth as preventative painless birth method, but Seaman seems to have adopted this method with the aim of achieving a painless egg laying. She attempts to reduce the pain of laying eggs by using a unique breathing technique called hee-hee-hoo! What? No, that's what it says. It says hee-hee-hoo. I'm looking at the katakana. It says hee-hee-hoo. I have an idea of what it sounds like, but I will not be performing that here. I will not be performing that here. Not for free, at least. not for free, at least. not for free. I'm not letting you rip that shit. No. Yeah, I'm familiar with the terminology of the Lamaze method, but I'm not familiar with the actual practice of it. And I don't think I want to be. I don't wanna. No. No, thank you. Not for me. This goose is not gonna be laying eggs, thanks. Hee-hee-hoo, wow. Wow. And it's not to be confused with That's different. That's a different method. After spawning, the lungfish eventually die, marking the end of the second generation, passing the gene to the third. So the eggs are laid. Yeah. The lungfish begin to move towards land and can be seen pushing up against obstacles such as rocks in order to reach more suitable location to lay eggs. Lungfish, oh my god, give birth using the Lamaze method, which is a method of giving birth that removes fear and allows for relaxation. In this case, only breathing techniques are used. Christ. After spawning, the parent lungfish die, just as the male lungfish dies after completing its role as a male. The lungfish that have finished spawning also meet their end. They are aware that they've completed their role in this generation and may leave behind words of acceptance of their fate. That's supposed to be Tad. Baby kitty! Alright, one day after laying eggs, the baby tadpole. Baby Tad. Eggs are laid 4 at a time. Oh, that's less. And this is the same for all individuals. The eggs are covered with a translucent jelly-like shell and are shaped similar to a ping pong ball. If you look inside, you can see the baby tad moving around inside the egg. Immediately after the eggs are laid, they begin preparing to hatch. The baby tad living inside the egg prepares for hatching at an astonishing speed. Hatching usually begins within a few hours or at most a day or two. This is probably because the egg is laid after it has grown to a certain extent inside the mother's body. Looking inside the egg, the body is somewhat small, but it already has the organs characteristics of a baby tad, such as the red fins on the side of its body, the Chimuro tube, and the fleshy tail. It is thought that such rapid growth is due to the short period of time required for the juvenile stage, when the baby is more vulnerable to dangers such as predators. Another notable feature is that all 4 eggs hatch at the same time, though the mystery of why they do so remains unclear. If you look closely at the egg, you can see the baby tad moving inside, its body almost complete, and all that remains is to wait for it to be transformed. Baby Todd eggs, goddammit. Oh, an air of greetings and mutual understanding. At first, baby Gilman speaks an unknown language, but if you continue to talk to him patiently, he will begin to understand human language. However, at this stage, he has a small vocabulary and can only understand basic words such as simple greetings and asking how he is feeling. As they become Gilman, they get used to humans and start to ask for information about the person they are talking to. They seem to mainly ask about their owner's profile, and it's also at this stage that they start to want a unique name. After that, they would continue to ask more detailed information about the caregiver. Seaman would also begin to give positive feedback on their answers. In this way, they gradually deepen their knowledge of human society. The lungfish are in the reproductive stage. Perhaps because of this, there are more opportunities for them to ask for more opinions on love. We also often hear the opinions of Seaman about love between humans. It is also interesting to hear opinions from a female Seaman's perspective. It has been reported that the way female Seamans think is very close to that of a human woman who have a deep understanding of love. Ooh, I want to meet her. This is also the time to review the information you have provided so far and to engage in word games. This is not just a time to accumulate knowledge or exchange information, but also a time to simply enjoy conversation. I'm cool with that. Yeah, fuck, I want to meet her. I want to meet female Seaman. They went so hard on this. They went so hard. Baby Tad. Duration 2 to 3 days. Good to know. Childlike high-pitched voice. Interesting. So this one goes back to a childlike voice. And these guys, baby toads, live up in the rivers. From the eggs laid by lungfish, larvae that look like tadpoles emerge. They are called baby tads. Tadpoles are called tadpoles in English. Oh. They have a rounded body and long tail, and the surface of their body is covered with countless white spots. They swim by waving their oar-shaped tail from side to side. The red organs protruding from left and right sides of the body are gills that take in oxygen from the water. The gills disappear after about 2 days, and lungs begin to form inside the body. At the same time, the small hind legs grow, and if you look closely, you can see that they gradually grow in size. They appear to function as paddles when swimming. They can only survive in fresh water. If they are released into the sea, they will die. They cannot adapt to both. Good to know. Feet gradually develop. Size in hand, almost the same size as the first baby Gilman we caught. You can pick it up by pinching its tail fin. In the breeding kit, you can observe the baby tads sucking blood from each other. Here we'll take a closer look at their movements. First, the baby tad, for convenience, we will call it the individual, decides on its target and starts to track the target individual. Oh. Then it dives downwards and slowly extends its tube straight up, attaching it to the abdomen of the individual. After sucking out enough nutrients, the individual swims away leisurely, and the sucked individual B becomes a dead candy, and starts to float to the surface to the water. Seaman the elephant? What? What? Seaman the elephant? Excuse? What? Okay. This looks like a better, yeah.
What? I don't understand what's going on here.
The Seaman appears relaxed, swimming leisurely as he pleases, but this moment appears completely desperate. Changes in swimming style, the baby tad grows legs as he grows. The growth of legs is so rapid if you watch. This is why Google Translate only gets you so far, okay? It only gets you so far. Baby tats also sometimes, oh god, explosive power. Good for them. Wow. As nutrients been sucked out, you can be lying floating. Explosive power is impressive. 2 cats rolling their eyes together. I don't know if that's right. Wow. Narrowing of the neck. Oh yeah. Lungs are forming inside the body. Occasionally they surface. The period during which the third generation Seaman remains a larva is short, lasting only a few days. In that short time, their bodies undergo major changes to adapt to life on land. Various changes can be seen, including the elongation of the body and the disappearance of gills, the development of front and back legs, and the formation of lungs to adapt to life on land. When the front legs grow large, the body color turns brown, clearly indicating that the time to become an adult is approaching. The way that they swim also changes, and they begin to use their developed arms and legs to paddle through the water. They obtain the energy to transform their bodies by sucking the blood of their own kind using the tubes on the top of their heads. They are not yet able to take food through their mouths. So you don't even have to, I mean, technically you shouldn't even have to feed this phase. You just shouldn't. Because they allegedly can't eat right. What's the condition where it's hard to swallow? I can't remember. Dysphagia? Is that it? Dysphagia? I think that might be it. I can't remember. Oh damn, he's big! Grows rapidly in a short time. Pinch the base. Yeah, damn, he's huge! Either we're massive in the Dreamcast version, or these fish just got bigger. Tail's no longer used and absorbed into the body, yeah. Like, look how freaking huge they are.
Understand what's going on here.
We are almost halfway through. About halfway through. And I am cruising for a bruising here. Once baby toads... Oh. Legs have matured, their hands begin to grow. These develop rapidly, just like their feet, and within the same day, they begin to grow and are able to use their hands to paddle the water. With the addition of these hand movements, baby Tad's swimming style looks completely different than before. Let's take a closer look at how they swim. First, extend your arms forward and turn your palms outward. Paddle backwards in one go. After paddling, bring your arms back to your sides and repeat the same movement. Did they just teach us how to swim? You can also see at the same time as you paddle with your hands, you kick the water backwards with your feet, coordinating the movements as your hands and feet creates propulsion. At this stage, baby Tad's swimming style becomes more similar to that of a frog. Spinning around in the same place. Once the animals have grown complete limbs, they begin to swim like frogs. They begin to exhibit unusual behaviors that have never been seen before, such as repeatedly circling around the same spot. They rarely go straight, but instead start to circle around the same spot. They tilt their tails, which act like a rudder, to left or right, and start to swim like a frog, using both hands and feet. Although there are differences between individuals, such as turning left or right, all baby Tads perform this movement in the same way, scratching their noses with their tubes. Yeah. I love... It's not called Frogman, it's just called Froggy in the Japanese version, and I love that. Froggy! He's Froggy!
Froggy?
Yeah! Man, crying with a cry. When they cry, their throat expands greatly. Kicks the ground with its powerful hind legs and jumps. Back is bumpy and like a bellows. Okay. Monkey, what? God's creation! Freshwater Aori age, what? What is that at the top? Monkey period, 5 to 8 days, God's creation. Truly. Okay. The transition from pre-metamorphosis form to this frog-like form is quick. In some rearing experiments conducted at the Institute of Civilization Bioarchaeology, the frog had completed the metamorphosis in just a few hours. Note that the immature froggy still has a tail, but it is apparently absorbed into the body within about 24 hours. It's Shimoro, yeah. We have noticed this, yes. Froggy's life is halfway between underwater and land. Their breathing method also changes from gills to lungs, and they become active by jumping on the ground. However, they are weak to dryness, so they cannot live long away from water. This form is a bridge between the previous form that lived in the water and the next generation that will be completely adapted to living on land. Yes, we continue on from here. They can be seen over a wide range. Yes, yes. Okay. Its body is still large enough to fit neatly in the palm of an adult's hand. Its legs are almost as long as its body, so if it starts to struggle, it will get pretty scary. We have to go into iguani. Unlike the baby Tad form, when it becomes froggy, it can move like its opponent? What? Hold up. That's better. Unlike the baby Tad form, Froggy is able to perform complex hand movements. Even in commercially available development kits, you can see a variety of movements that skillfully manipulate the four fingers. For example, there's a behavior of playing with the Chimoto tube. Up until now, gillmen and lungfish have been seen using the Chimoto Chimoto tube, but these were limited to manipulating the Chimoto tube itself to do something. In Froggy's case, he plays with the Chimoto tube using his hands. He leans forward with his face and plays with its dangling Chimoto pipe with one hand with a look of amusement. He also brushes the Chimoto pipe back from its face as if brushing back his hair. He could also be seen scratching his face with his hand. These movements may have been learned from humans. Baby, let me smoke your Chimoto tube. Although he does not use his hands, he can be seen hanging the Chimoto pipe in front of his face as if he were scratching his nose and bringing it to his mouth. He then holds the opening of the pipe between his lips and seems to stay still for a while. Seeing Seaman treat the Chimoto pipe like a toy shows how much he has grown. You can often see them making big jumps with their developed hind legs. At first, they just jump on land, and then they climb into rocks and start jumping to higher places. However, they jump without regard for their surroundings, and sometimes they would see crashing to the wall of the tank. Oh, Lord. Lordy. Alright. Are we at Iguani? No, not at Iguani yet. Whoa. After spending a long time in the jungle, the body of this individual has become greenish, and the area from the shoulders to the back and limbs has become covered with colorful patterns which act as a protective color in the jungle. Its body shape and movements are almost the same as a Froggy shortly after metamorphosis, but its voice and attitude changes as it grows. Greenish body, yup. I think it's funny that Dreamcast Seaman has his own Dreamcast Froggy. Froggy also moves like a human, but Dreamcast Seaman's behavior is even more human. In the jungle, we see a Dreamcast Seaman leaning against a flag stuck in the ground. What? His left arm is resting on the flag, his hand on his cheek, and his right hand on his thigh. What? He maintains this posture while talking. It can be said to be human. The Dreamcast Seaman's behavior clearly reflects his many years of communication with childlike side. Dreamcast Seaman has a mature look, but sometimes he shows a childlike side. Here, we will follow some of the behavior of Dreamcast Seaman seen in the training kit. Dreamcast Seaman appears in front of a young Froggy who is looking for a mate. Oh. At first, he is basking in the joy of having offspring, but he seems to get angry at the young Froggy's rudeness. He suddenly slaps Froggy across the cheek with his right hand. After that, they continue to slap each other's cheeks while insulting each other. And as soon as they realize they can't settle the matter, Dreamcast Seaman turns his back on Froggy and sulks. He is happy to meet Froggy, gets angry at Froggy's rude attitude, and feels frustrated after losing an argument. In this way, the complex and diverse emotional expressions he shows are also a distinctive feature of Dreamcast Seaman. Christ. Oh! I don't need to draw it. Oh my god! There he is! Oh my god. He rests his elbows on the flag, his mouth frowns. His mastery of this small prop, the flag, shows the difference between him and the young Froggy. In the jungle, he appears in front of Froggy as if he's been waiting for him. He disappears into the depths of the jungle, but soon makes contact with Froggy again. Then they fight. Before mating, he turns his back on the young Froggy, and after mating, he immediately returns to the jungle where the unearthed Seaman, or Dreamcast Seaman, disappeared to after completing this major event of flame offspring. They literally come and go. Are we at Iguani yet? Almost. Oh no, we have to go through the shit. Yeah. Wow. It's not just the face that's exposed to air, but a large part of the body is exposed as the baby's leg grows. We can practice breathing. He bends his tail. Oh yeah, and then they have the gills. Okay, good to know, good to know. The biggest threat comes from unexpected places. As we've already seen, Seaman reduces the risk of death by shortening the time the baby larvae spend in the larval stage, but that doesn't mean all baby larvae became froggy. In the wild, baby tad feeds on microorganisms and insects in the water. However, in its short life of nutrients, it uses its Chimoto tube to suck blood from its own kind. There is no food for baby tad in the breeding kit. When baby tad gets hungry, it looks for the opportunity to suck blood from another individual. Their knowledge is shared, so even if the population decreases due to blood sucking, the information they've acquired up to that point is not lost. The mechanism by which knowledge is shared is unclear, but there are theories that it is through conversations between them, that they read information recorded in genes, and that they listen in on conversations of other individuals. The hind legs grow first, then the front legs. Yes. Baby Tad's blood-sucking behavior begins about 1 day after hatching from the egg. It extends the Chimoto tube, presses it tightly against the abdomen of the other person, and sucks its bodily fluids. Once the tip of the tube touches the abdomen, the person being sucked no longer resists. Gross. It dies, leaving behind a message to the other person who sucked its bodily fluids, and trusting them with what to do next. When the blood-sucking behavior begins, the pair of protrusions form on the left and right hand sides of the body near the root of the body. Fuck. These will grow to become the hind legs. The gradual thickening of the legs can be seen with the naked eye. If you want to keep a record, it's best to take a photograph rather than a sketch, and to take a picture every few minutes. Bottom of the river, exposing the bellies, yep. Okay. Froggy's warning! Oh. When the tail becomes shorter, the body and face are clearly separated and a neck-like part appears. All preparations for landing are complete. What? I think it just means they're ready to go. Appearance also becomes more like a frog than a tadpole, and the voice changes to that of an adult. The appearance becomes that of a frog, yep. Strictly speaking, we should distinguish between baby tads before metamorphosis as larvae, young froggy as juveniles, and mature froggy as adults. Okay. But since Froggy's juvenile period is very short, in this book we treat Froggy at this stage as already adults. Fair. The landing spots they choose are those with a gentle slope from the bottom of the water to the surface where they can return and emerge. They also seem to use fallen rotten wood in the water as a ramp. If you go to a baby tad colony on a day where the air is humid, such as the day after it rains, you'll be able to see many Froggy landing. Their breathing method is completely switched to breathing with their lungs, so they can no longer use the oxygen in the water. They can still swim, but they will suffocate if they don't take a breath. They're also not fully adapted to living on land, and moisture is constantly being lost from the surface of their bodies. For this reason, they need to periodically go into the water. Although their adaptation to living on land is thus limited, being able to move is a great advantage for them. Yes. Training kit includes a gimmick that makes use of this action. Huh. The shift from aquatic to terrestrial life has brought about many changes in Froggies, the most striking of which is the change of their food preferences and hunting methods. Froggies' preferred food is not the larvae of the Seaman species, but the adult moth-like moths. Oh. Okay, so the Froggies like the moths the most. Good to know. They often target adult moths resting on the ground or on plant leaves, but sometimes they successfully catch moths in the air. They do not approach flying insects, but wait patiently for a moth to come within range of their tongue. As soon as the insect comes within reach of their tongue, they swallow it whole in an instant. They almost never let their target escape. Froggy is a fearsome hunter for moths. However, it seems that they do not always eat only their favorite foods. When they are hungry, they will happily eat larvae of the Seaman species. Once ashore, Seaman reacts sensitively to words and sounds and starts moving in a certain direction. On land, it uses powerful hind legs to move around by repeatedly jumping like a frog. However, it cannot stray too far from the water's edge, so it mainly stays along rivers. It seems that the range of movement is somewhat wider in spaces with humid air, such as tropical rainforests. At this age, they can also be seen jumping into tree branches hanging down from cliffs or other elevated locations in an attempt to climb even the slightest bit of height. By repeatedly jumping, they gradually become able to fly higher. They hear not only human voices, but also various sounds, music, and other sounds generated by human society, and deepen their understanding of humans. Once they have enough knowledge, they start looking for a partner to reproduce with. It is not difficult to find other Froggies if you are near a settlement. Froggies are generally not known to drink blood from their own kind like baby tads do. They also show romantic behavior. As with lungfish, they do not mate on the day they meet. Oh. They meet several times to exchange knowledge and get to know each other through conversation, then they mate when both parties agree. Oh. I mean, that's good. Damn. Since they have the same mental structure as humans, they display behavior that can be called romantic love. Aw. Sometimes cracks may appear in the relationship between Froggies, however, that is not the end of the world. If two sides can come to agreement through conversation, it seems that they can still have offspring with each other, even if they once had a fight. They are hermaphrodites. Unlike lungfish, individuals with male and female personalities do not necessarily mate. Things that are unthinkable for humans can happen, such as two animals that were insulting each other moments ago having offspring together. What? 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 Froggy emerges from the bushes, lured by the rhythm of a human beating a drum. Sometimes it even dances to the sound. Cute. Oh. What? Oh. Seaman's raw sugar! In principle, waves are independent. Shimoto couples who have been mating for generations have been connecting the tips of their teeth, and the individual that sent the genes is somewhere. The female is the one who lays the eggs. Froggy, who is looking forward to returning home, sleeps more than ever before. He does not waste unnecessary energy and instead recharges in the light of spring. However, he only sleeps with other people for the sake of rest. What? I don't... He also seems to be more talkative than ever before. The mating takes place for a few days after... What? The mating... Reset. This looks a lot better, yes. A common ritual has been passed down through generations in which the Chimera tubes are joined together. The individual that sent the genes disappears. Egg laying is carried about by the individual alone. Froggy, who is pregnant with eggs, will sleep more than ever before. She will not waste any extra energy and will concentrate on preparing for the eggs. However, she will actively engage in conversations with humans. She may even be seen to be more talkative than before. Eggs are laid in a few days after mating. They choose waterside of areas with ferns as the place to lay their eggs. This is said to be a comfortable environment for the next generation of eggs that will be born from the eggs laid by the Froggy. Sometimes human help is needed. In the wild, they generally do not require human care, but sometimes they will ask for help from humans they have become acquainted with, such as when they have unexpected difficulties in laying eggs. When Froggy can no longer bear the pain of childbirth, she will ask people nearby to stroke her body. If you stroke her body at this time, she will show great gratitude. Froggy foster kits have also been very difficult birth, so they need their owners to stroke their bodies. Aww. The eggs are released from the Chamorro tube. Each female leaves one egg at a time. Since the birth rate of these young is declining like that of other mammals, it expected that the survival rate and growth rate of adulthood would be extremely high. A few hours after the egg laying begins, a milky white egg is released from the opening of the Chimorro tube. The egg is milky white and shaped like a stretched sphere. The face of the spiny Froggy looks somewhat helpless. When everything is over, the individual that sent the gene appears as if to congratulate the individual that laid the eggs. What? At this time, the other Froggy comes back? Both the individuals who set the genes and those who laid the eggs will soon die. Oh. Their last bit of strength, they will disappear from human sight. Damn. Okay, and then we should be in the Iguani section. Yes? Yes. Okay. So yes, in the PlayStation version, the evolution of Seaman does continue onward after the Froggy base. So, the eggs laid by Froggy, which are the eggs from which the 4th generation hatch, have a milky white milky white shell. They look similar to those of reptiles and birds, but the unique feature of these eggs is that inside the eggs can be seen through like a shadow. The eggshell material is not seen in other animals. Also, while eggs usually don't change size, iguani eggs keep getting bigger. Just like the growth of baby Tad's legs, the growth of the eggs can be seen with the naked eye. By comparing the size at the start of the observation with the size at the end of the observation, you can see how much the eggs have grown. Incidentally, the iguani eggs will hatch from the eggs that are larger than adult Froggy. Wow. Unlike the eggs that contain baby Tad, the inside is not completely visible, but upon closer inspection, you can see the shadow of what looks like a curled up lizard. The lizard-like shadow does not move. The egg as a whole expands, indicating the 4th generation of young is growing rapidly inside. It takes half a day to a day for the eggs to hatch. It took a short time for the baby Tad to hatch, but this time it was no less. The strategy is thorough to increase the chances of survival by shortening the defenselessness period as much as possible. The number of eggs has also been reduced from 4 to 1, so chances of one not growing into an adult must be minimized. Damn. Whew. Baby Tads have a tendency to pry into the relationship troubles of their owners and even offer advice on how to solve them. Baby Tads seem to understand that in order to live in society, we humans must cooperate with people we don't like. In addition, individuals who are talking to humans tend to become less cautious to their surroundings and are more likely to be bitten by another individual immediately after the conversation ends. As mentioned before, the information they obtain through conversation is passed on to other individuals, so it seems that the information obtained by the Baby Tads in the tank is not lost. The Macintosh theory? Excuse me? That's what it says. It's in katakana. Froggy can perform mental activities at a level almost the same as humans. When they reach this stage, they often show their knowledge to their owners and engage in debates and arguments. They also begin to understand and show interest in not only humans themselves, but also society and tools? The tools that interest them most seems to be those used in transmit information. After asking detailed questions about what kind of computer their interlocutor uses and how he uses the internet and how he uses his mobile phone, and somehow launched into the theory about Macintoshes and personal computers. What? He also begins to develop thoughts that can be described as somewhat philosophical, such as questioning his own existence. Seaman's going to steal your IP address. Oh, wow. Oh, there is a Seaman at the top there. It's like... Oh, it's really hard for me to, like, get a good view of it. But yeah, he's, like, right there. God, this is fascinating. I love this. Well, so here's our iguani. In 1999, even after the Seaman breeding kit for the Dreamcast became widely available to the general public, the Civilization Bioarchaeology Institute continued to work on further research into Seaman. Then, in 2001, the time came with their tireless efforts finally bore fruit. A report was submitted by the Civilization Bioarchaeology, I can't fucking read, Bioarchaeology Institute, and the report contained a surprising fact. The shocking fact was that a new generation had been born from the eggs laid by Froggy. Yes, there was a generation of Seaman that we had not yet heard of. This fourth iteration was named Iguani because it closely resembled an iguana. It showed more adaptation to terrestrial life than the amphibian Froggy and eventually evolved into a reptile-like form. Ear-like organs. Oh, I don't like that. Developed on the sides of its head and its hearing became more sensitive. This could be said to be an evolution to better understand human language. These iguani inhabit a wide range of tropical rainforests, and adults have been seen swimming in rivers and lakes. They begin to live on land, especially in areas close to human settlements, suggesting an instinct to get closer to humans. However, on the other hand, it's not uncommon to see young iguani hiding deep in the jungle to avoid human eyes. It is also interesting that after adapting to life on land, they start to move around in the water again as if to distance themselves from humans. It has not yet been confirmed whether they will continue to have further generations at this point. It also remains a mystery. Thus, there are still many mysteries surrounding the iguani, even now in the year 2002. We have not yet been able to fully explore them. However, in this article, we will explain their ecology to the extent that is currently known in order to deepen our understanding of them. I don't like the ears. I hate that they brought that up. Yayagan. Yayagan. There we go. When iguanas hatch from eggs, their heads are a large proportion of their body length. Their limbs and tails are underdeveloped. However, their fingers are extremely long with claws at the tips. They use these fingers and claws to grip the ground and move around. Some iguanas live in trees, but iguanas live on the ground. The head and neck have a gradation from flesh color to green, and the body and tail have brown stripes, which is a body color adapted to the tropical rainforest. In addition, ear-like organs can be seen on the sides of the head. Like iguanas, they probably use these to recognize sounds from the outside world. They're well adapted to life on land. Wow. Yeah, he's big. Oh, he's big. Third generation Froggy has great jumping ability and then tends to get closer to human settlements. However, when it becomes an iguani, the body structure changes drastically and can no longer jump. Instead, it develops a long tail and becomes adept to walking around on the ground. His tail is the most distinctive feature of iguani's appearance. Their long tails, which make up more than half of their body length, sway from side to side as they rub against the ground and when they walk. They use their tails to keep their balance. Iguanis are often seen sleeping in the jungle with their tails curled up. The tails become brownish towards the tip, and the tip is dark brown that is almost black. Long tail exists for balance. Wow. Wow! Okay. Prefers wetlands. Go for him, good for him. Proud of him. I'm gonna change my hat. Do I need to go back to peeing in pools? Although Seaman had shown a variety of movements up until now, the iguani forms become relatively quiet. He often hides himself in the fern thickets, staying still and holding his breath. However, it's time to catch his prey. He shows agile movements. As soon as he finds a target outside the bush, he quickly approaches his prey, gripping the ground with his long claws and extends his long tongue towards his prey. He is targeted and tangling with his tip of his tongue and taking it into his mouth. Oh, Mr. Key! Okay, so they don't like getting in the water. They may accidentally get in the water, but that is a massive egg! A book about drowning and struggling, what? Judging from the way he swears while doing so, it appears he is not very good at swimming. You can just see him just fuck. body size nearly doubles. No major changes in their organs. Proportion of the head body length decreases. Their tails become thicker and more developed. So once they know how to swim, that's when they are adults. Good to know. So they're still trying to figure out, at this point, they're trying to figure out if there's further evolution. Spoilers, there are, but we don't get to witness them. And hello? When he was a young boy, Iguani was afraid of water and would often drown if he went into a swamp, but then he became an adult and began practicing how to swim. Immediately after entering the water, they sink to the bottom just like juveniles. Then, just like juveniles, they start to flap their arms and legs and tails chaotically. Okay, so they start learning. Yo, what's good? Days, what's up? Hello. Oh, geez, sorry. He went into the City of Seaman parade, yes. Oh, he'll just come out and start talking to you. That's cute. When a human beats out a certain rhythm next to an Iguani, they start dancing to it. This is a movement that was also seen with Froggy, but Iguani's actions are more spectacular and varied, making them more impressive to watch. Oh, they dance! Oh, thank you. From behind the bunny, what does that mean? Oh, cute. You can see him sleeping. Oh, yeah, he does dance! Oh, look at him! Remember how to swim again. Breed of shyness. Okay, yeah, so they kind of stick to themselves for a bit. Yeah, what do they eat? Highly nutritious Simo species. Adult moths in particular. Oh, if it preys on Indian tail moths, the health will deteriorate. Okay, so the spiders aren't a thing, it's these moths. It looks bad. Float along the forest. Interesting. Very cool. What the hell? Ugh. Ow. Unique habit shared by all generations of seamen. Whoa. Aw, okay, so yeah, they're just gonna be really cute. Oh, dude, that's sick. If you grab them and drop in the water, they will flap their limbs in pain. Okay, so that's bad. Kalani is mainly interested in friendships between the caretakers and observers. Oh. Oh, shit, wait, hold up, I need this. When a seaman grows into a gillman, they will ask you about your gender, occupation, and status. Depending on how you answer the conversation you have with them later on will change dramatically. Here are some examples, but the difference is quite dramatic. First, we decided to train Seaman with the personality of a man in his 30s. Oh, whoa! User-friendly, welcome in! Hi! The conversation did not go smoothly, and Seaman's comments on the fruit were also brief. What does that mean? Oh, because he works in agriculture. Okay, ow! Next, we decided to train Tree Man as a woman working in their 20s as a hostess in Tokyo. Then what happened? The seaman suddenly became talkative and asked detailed questions about accompanying women to work about the fellow hostess. It was a mystery why the seaman even knew about accompanied women to work. What?
It's a Maria.
What? In the first place, their knowledge was so diverse, ranging from philosophy to vulgar information about modern society. Damn, Seaman. Also, even though Seaman is an allothomorph, it is important to note that he is somewhat gentle towards women. When he's talking to hostesses, he seems to be more talkative than when he's talking to male farmers. This suggests that male seaman is more masculine than female seaman. Can be inferred that they have a mentally similar to that of a seaman. What? Mentality, okay. It is supported by the female seaman. The female seaman's face is reminiscent of a shrewd woman. Excuse me? Okay. If a man's appearance changes depending on gender, it would be fine if Seaman was sweet to women, the same as most men are sweet to young women of their age. Example of recognition, besides farming and hostessing, Shin-chan has also other interests. Hold up. Oh, what? What?! In addition to farming and hostessing, Seaman recognizes a wide variety of occupations. To list them briefly, most companies, businesses to entertainment, mass media, medical, restaurants, adult entertainment, and from general sports can be found. It seems that they can even recognize things that are more appropriately called job titles or occupations, such as industry, clerical work, and accounting. Furthermore, they seem to have their own opinions about their jobs and whether they tell people about what their jobs are. They respond with comments that correspond to the content of the job. They also have their own opinions about work and business. Therefore, when they confide their work-related worries to Seaman, if you have a pet breeding kit, you can have fun trying out different personalities and acting out different personalities from your real self. Interesting. So the game actually encourages you to roleplay. Oh god. Wow. Following the Dreamcast version in 1999, Seaman Breeding Kit was released for the PlayStation 2 in 2001. The only changes from the previous breeding kit is the ocean and the jungle have been added to the breeding environment. However, there are no major changes to the aquarium, which is a faithful reproduction of the experimental aquarium used by Dr. Gazet, the discoverer of Seaman. Also, whereas the Seaman in previous versions were farmed, this time it is said to be natural. It would be a delight for enthusiasts to be able to raise Seaman in the same environment as Dr. Gazet. However, it is true that this kit has some inconveniences. Not only are there inconveniences due to environmental being used, but analog heaters and air supply devices are difficult for modern people to use. Here we will explain how to use them. The tank is equipped with all equipment necessary for raising Seamans, including heaters and air supply units. The sand has steps because some of the water will be drained and removed later. Mainly, second and third generation Seamans will be raised in this tank. Oh, Hita. I'm like, what does that say? A device for raising the temperature, sprinkler air, whiny grass. Whiny. Oh. Comes from I love you. It's not food, but an accessory to decorate the aquarium. The third and fourth generations should not be released into the sea. This time, the newly discovered form of iguana will be observed in the jungle. Yeah. Whiny. It's the owner's responsibility to provide a comfortable environment for pets. Of course, the same can be said for Seaman. When keeping them, you should always pay attention to the environment in the tank, adjusting the water temperature, moisture, and oxygen levels so that they can live comfortably. The guideline for this is that Seaman... Is there constant complaints about worsening environment? If you look inside the breeding kit, you often see seamen complaining about the deterioration of their environment. Unlike tropical fish, they don't hesitate to express their dissatisfaction, so if you listen to what they have to say, excuse me, you'll be able to understand what they are unhappy about. If you're going away on a business trip or something, you should take measures in advance, such as releasing them to the sea only the second generation. The froggy form, which is similar to amphibians, becomes less active when the body surface dries out, which is why it needs to be kept hydrated by the sprinklers. Yup. Okay. IKEA knives! Interesting. Oh shit. Whoa, what? Speak with clear pronunciation. Because Seaman has high intelligence, caregivers tend to mistakenly believe that they are human. However, it is not necessarily true that they completely understand human language. They may ask you to repeat what you say, or may not understand what you say. In such cases, it's a good idea to speak to them again in a clear pronunciation, or in simpler, easy-to-understand words. Also, in the form of a newborn baby Gilman, it is not possible to speak human language. In that case, it's best to speak to it in clear pronunciation in short sentences. Because they have a very high learning ability, they should be able to understand human language and speak on their own in a few days. Listen to Seaman's words. The biggest difference between Seaman and pets such as dogs and cats is whether or not he can understand human language. Seaman can understand and even speak human language, so if the environment in the tank becomes bad, he will notify the owner. But don't get angry about that. They cannot get out of the tank, so there is nothing you can do unless you improve the environment. Listen to them and prepare the seeds so that Seaman can live comfortably. You should also respond to Seaman's complaints with love. Respect Seaman's wishes. Okay. Just as there are times when all humans want to be alone, there are also times when Seaman doesn't want to come into contact with humans. If Seaman tells you that he wants to end the conversation, it's probably best to refrain from further communication for that day. That might be something we want to look into trying. If he's like, oh, I'm done, well, okay. It's probably best to refrain from further communication for that day. If you try to force a conversation, they will not listen to you and may even get angry. We should respect their wishes and live together more comfortably for the both of us. Also remember that long conversations will tire him out. Talking to them for a few minutes a day will allow them to build up knowledge in a blink of an eye. If you say too many things to them in one day, their brains will overwhelm you, so end the conversation at the right time, when they want to end it. As I said before, Seaman's not perfect. It is the ability they will ask, "What?" Or can you say that again? In such case, try repeating what you were saying 31 times. In this case, use the C mic to answer the question and try to respond as closely, okay? If you were asked to respond yes or no, you should answer yes or no. Conversation is important. This is like the meat and potatoes here. When raising a Seaman, it has been discovered that the Seaman in the training kit released in November 2001 will not grow into a new form unless they have a certain amount of conversation. They literally live off of conversation. So what words do Seamen recognize? What words do they react to? In this section, we will look at what they say. Baby Gilman is known for its low ability to recognize language. They can even recognize greetings. Of course, even the post-Gilman forms respond to greetings just like in human society. You should not be rude to Seaman. Just like humans, Seaman doesn't seem to mind words like praise, cool, or cute. He's in a good mood when people say these things to him. However, if Seaman knows the person he cares for has a lover, he does not seem to be very happy when people say things like, "I love you." Oh shit! That is important. So yes, we have to be single. Interesting. Wow. So he likes you if you're single! Right. No, Seaman's my friend. And also no lover. Sag. Let's take a closer look to the secrets of conversations with Seaman. Make you impressed by how much he knows about humans. If you have the You have to apologize. So you can actually reverse a lot of stuff by saying, "I'm sorry." When the owner calls them by their given names or says, "Hello, come here," Seaman responds in various ways. In this way, it seems more like a pet. Okay. If you say the same thing over and over again, it makes them angry. Seaman hates being asked the same thing over and over again. It's the same as how humans don't feel good when they hear the same thing repeated over and over again, even if they don't understand the meaning of the words. Thank you. They seem to know from the rhythm and tone that they are being repeated. They are sensitive to this and get annoyed. There's no point in making the Seaman angry, as it will only stop the conversation. If he asks you to repeat what you said, you should be considerate and try speaking in a different language. Well, probably saying it again. If you ask him how he is or how he is feeling, he will respond in a variety of different ways, depending on how he feels at the time. However, Seaman doesn't seem to be too happy with the human custom of asking, "How are you?" without any real meaning. Ask for advice. Ask for advice? Huh. I'm curious now. Like, if I say, "Hey, I need help," will that help him feel better? If I say it, would he recognize advice? I bet you, I almost feel like he would recognize lottery numbers. He might just give you some. Oh, does not recognize all words. Even the Seaman have excellent language recognition abilities that can understand all words. If you not get another person to understand what you were saying, it's a good idea to leave out the particles and list only the words. For example, if you say, "Let's talk," and don't understand, and they don't understand, you can rephrase it to... Hold on, what does that actually say? Oh god. I can't read kanji. Okay. It's important to have actual contact with the Seaman and not just talk to him. There have been no reports yet that skinship promotes growth, but from the perspective of maintaining their mental health, it can be said that skin-to-skin contact is sometimes necessary. Therefore, in this section, we will introduce some ways of skinship to help you become closer to the Seaman. Huh. Deco pin. The owner made a ring with his index finger and thumb and slammed the index finger against Seaman with great force. This action, known as a forehead flick, is often done by owners when they are angry with Seaman. However, it is extremely bothersome for Seaman and someone. Do not do it! Seaman's nervous system is highly developed, therefore not only pain relief, but also tickling. It seems that you can even experience the sensation of lightly touching the surface of the man's body. They laugh loudly. When tickled, it seems to improve a mood a little, so it would be a good idea to give it a try. So yeah, tickling's good. Genuinely speaking, tickling and hypnotism are actions that Seaman enjoys. The other two, head smacking and grabbing, are actions that Seaman dislikes. So you should refrain from doing them. If you repeatedly head smack Seaman as punishment for abusive language, he may become upset with you and may not be able to hold a conversation at all. Since you have the opportunity to observe your very own Seaman through the breeding kit, you should try to avoid abusing him as much as possible. This is the morality of a breeder and of a human being. Try drawing circles. Okay. When you talk to seamen, they can sometimes get upset, just like humans. Seamen tend to dislike being verbally abused or insulted. When seamen get upset, they lose their will to continue the conversation. However, we must not go along with Seaman and upset him. Apologize. The quickest way to make amends is to apologize, expressing sincere gratitude by saying, "I'm sorry, please forgive me," or "excuse me," will often improve their mood. However, sometimes a single apology is not enough to improve the mood of the person, so it's a good idea to apologize several times. Even if the seaman is difficult to please, he will understand if you apologize sincerely. Seaman may seem cranky, but he can also be surprisingly tickling. Childish example is a pain, is how tickling can... tickling an angry Seaman to make him laugh may not seem like it will fundamentally improve a relationship. However, Seaman will probably understand the owner's trying his best to make him happy, and after slap for a while, resume the conversation. Okay, so tickling is good. If you don't feel like trying to please Seaman, but you want to continue the conversation, for such owners, we recommend hypnosis. Wait, is hypnosis like a soft reset? Hello? Although it's called hypnosis, it's not that difficult. All you have to do is move your finger. If you suppress the urge to flick him on the head, not only we feel better, Seaman will be in a good mood once you regain consciousness. Okay. Huh. Okay, here's if he gets sick. Okay, so during the long period of cultivation, seamans can get sick. They are naturally sensitive to temperature changes and are very strict about the environment of the tank, but generally they don't get sick from deterioration of the tank environment. The most debilitating time for them is that they eat a poisonous insect called an Indian tail moth. The only time they prey on Indian tails is their froggy and iguana forms when they see a squirming insect in front of them. His face will turn red. He'll feel exhausted. Yep, we've seen this. Oh, what's this one? Oh god. Jean-Paul Gasset, discoverer of Seaman, made the astonishing hypothesis that in the 1930s, that Seaman was involved in the origins of ancient Egyptian civilization. Creatures resembling the Seaman are depicted in ancient Egyptian murals, and a majority of them were painted during the Third Dynasty, period when the construction of the pyramids began. As you know, the construction techniques of the pyramids remain a mystery even today, and no records of them remain. Based on these facts, Gasset suggests that someone must have entrusted the knowledge necessary for the construction of the pyramids to the Seaman, who then passed it to the Third Dynasty. The Seaman has the ability to inherit human knowledge and can even spread the knowledge across the sea. This was Gasset's theory. So, Seaman is the reason we have the pyramids. That's what I'm getting. Seaman knows why we made the pyramids. Yeah. I knew it. Yeah. Anyway. His theory finally gained public acceptance towards the end of the 1990s. Then, with the release of training kits in 1999 and 2001, we witnessed Seaman's advanced linguistic abilities and dynamic evolution. Seaman is a creature that learns human language and lives off of it. They developed their intelligence by learning human language, while humans developed by acquiring the knowledge they spread. In other words, humans and Seaman have intellectual symbiotic relationship. When raising Seamen, you can hear their theories on civilization. They say, "I'm a messenger of God who has come to spread the greatest weapon, language, to humanity." The Seaman is a medium. Humans can only acquire a very small amount of knowledge by themselves, so how do we know that our study of knowledge, philosophy, etc. predecessors know? Media such as books and television play a role in disseminating this knowledge. In that sense, the Seaman could be said to be one of the media given by God. Oh my god. By talking to the Seaman, we can not only gain knowledge, but also learn the objective image of humans from the perspective of non-human life forms. As they are not bound by human common sense, their unique philosophy can sometimes be heavy and weigh on us. The knowledge and philosophy they convey accumulate with us and eventually form our intelligence by communicating with the Seaman. Humans are transformed into more intelligent beings. The Seaman, which plays a part in the formation of human intelligence, can be said to be an extremely important and unique medium. Damn. Okay, and I think this is all just lore. Yeah, this is all Dr. Gasset's shit, so... Yeah, this is all the lore of Dr. Gasset. It is bananas how much they have here. Like, this is bananas, y'all. There's so much to this. Egypt. Oh my god. William Sutherland, what? What the fuck? He went to Gaze's island in Micronesia to support Seaman after he was expelled from the Sorbonne. Oh my god. Yeah. Training kits for the Dreamcast and PlayStation 2. Wow. What the fuck? This is so fucking rad. Wow. Muscular. Wow. Sorry about that at the end. Damn. About a month after the discovery of Gaze's diary, Masuda Kimono sketches, Seaman had already landed in Japan. Seaman was brought to Japan by Dr. William Sutherland and exhibited at an exhibition in Makuhari Shiba Prefecture. However, during an airlift from France, Seaman's health deteriorated and the planned 2-day exhibition was shortened to 1 day. There was also an accident where Dr. Sutherland, who had come to Japan with Seaman, went missing. For a while afterwards, the doctor's whereabouts were unknown, but for a while, the Institute of Civilization Biological Archaeology made a series of announcements under Dr. Sutherland's name, so it's believed that he returned home safely. Also in May of the same year, a Seaman exhibition was held at Ikebukuro International Sunshine Aquarium, where visitors were able to talk to Seaman through a microphone, and the venue was a huge success. Then on July 29th of 1999... Oh, I know. I'm very well aware that my iPad is dying. The world's first Seaman breeding kit Dreamcast version was released in Japan. At first, it was thought that it would only be popular among enthusiasts, but the stock quickly sold out, and the shortage continued for some time. Seaman was no longer just an unusual pet. It became a boom that could be called a social phenomenon, and eventually 500,000 breeding kits were shipped. The breeding kits were so popular in North America, and the Seaman creature became known all over the world. On August 22nd of 2001, 2 years after the release of the first breeding kit, the Institute of Civilization Biological Archaeology announced the release of a new breeding kit. There it is. The breeding kit, which reflected the latest research results, would be on sale in Japan from November 15th. The tropical climate is favorable for experiencing yellow-tailed fish. Seaman feeds on is preferably wild caught rather than farmed in terms of calcium balance and other factors. What the hell? Oh, they're talking about how if fucking oh, the iguani move on. These credits. Seaman Miller. Hold up. I like how we don't know if William Sutherland is dead or not. I'm guessing this Joel Jones lady might be the basis of the female Seaman appearance.